Welcome, everybody, to the second episode of the Mac and Riley podcast. Last episode was an absolute fun time. We did an introduction and talked a little bit about resiliency and mental habits. And this one, we're going to get into some sauce. We're going to talk about gut health and thyroid and all of the ways that they're connected, things that we see coming up with our clients that are very common, things that we see very common in every thyroid case, things we see that are common with thyroid in every gut health case, and all of the above. Mac, how are you doing today?
I've been looking forward to this all week since we decided what our topic was going to be. I'm just freaking over the moon. We're both wearing our Eminent Nutrition shirts. Code Mac or Code Riley. I think it's just Code Riley. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, Code Mac or Code Riley. Use whatever code you like better of us.
Yeah.
Are you Team Riley or are you Team Mac? We're going to keep track.
We will absolutely keep track. We will be keeping track.
Yes. And we have absolutely the matching shirts. By the way, Eminent Nutrition, best supplement company in the industry because of their products and the people behind it.
But we are sponsored, but we wouldn't be with them if they weren't the best. So.
Yes, absolutely. So we are stoked. I'm pumped up on my Prime Potion, and let's get started. Max, so let's dive right in. What is the most common thing that you see if a client comes to you and they say, I have odd thyroid numbers on my labs, or I'm concerned that I'm low thyroid, or I am hypothyroid? What is the first thing you go to in almost every one of those cases?
Oh, man, it's so hard to pinpoint it to one thing. First, I'm going to want to see those labs. 9 times out of 10, it's just going to be a TSH. 8 times out of 10, it maybe will be TSH and T4. 3 times out of 10, T3 is going to be on, which we can honestly do a whole entire podcast about blood testing for any type of thyroid condition and how most Western medicine doctors are just going to pull TSH and, if you're lucky, T4. There's going to be no T3, no reverse T3, no antibody testing. But outside of that, and I know you probably agree, I want to see those body temps. Show me the body temps. That's what I want to see.
Why is that important, Mac? Why are we doing body temps?
Why do we want to see body temps? Okay, so with a healthy thyroid, healthy metabolic rate.
Why do we like body temps? I love body temps.
So with a healthy body, healthy thyroid, healthy metabolic rate, we should see temperatures waking mid 97s, high 97s. That would be money. Low 98s for some people. As the day goes on, after you eat your first meal, we should see that continue to rise, because as you eat, your body is going to produce heat, thermic effect of food, breaking down whatever you ate. And then the question arises, do we see temperatures drop? Do we see temperatures stay steady? What is the overall trend? And that is going to tell us so much more than a TSH level or even a T3 level. What are your thoughts on that?
100%. So if we're seeing, if I'm seeing low temperatures first thing in the morning, like 96s, and granted, we're going to track this over a 3 to 4 day period. So we're going to track first thing in the morning, oral temperature. If that's 96s or low 97s, we're low thyroid. Your body temperatures are low. You don't have that thermic effect of a good metabolism. And then after your first meal, it might go up. It'll probably go up. But if you're still sub 98s at that point, which I see is pretty common, low 97, high 96, and then to the high 97s, we're low thyroid.
Something else
we have low T3.
Something else we see. Let's say you wake up 97.8. Solid. First meal, 97.2. Something's happening there. Your adrenaline and cortisol is spiked from the night before. Once you eat that meal in the morning, cortisol's coming down. So it's basically just your adrenaline from the previous night staying elevated through the night. Cortisol continues to spike for a cortisol awakening response. You eat and it comes back down and your body temp comes back down.
100%. Because what happens at night? Your T3 is what's processing glucose. It's what's pulling glycogen from your liver, from your cells to feed your body while you're sleeping. If it can't do that, your body's last line of defense is it's going to get you the fuel that you need no matter what. Either it's going to do it in the most productive way possible, or it's going to do it in the last way that it knows how to, and that is with adrenals. So if you wake up high temperature or it drops off after your first meal, then you know you're running on adrenaline first thing in the morning, and then once you have your meal, you calm down because your T3 is not active at night in the way that it should. So if you're low T3, if it's that low, then yeah, you'll wake up high adrenals, you'll drop off after that first meal, and that's a big problem to address right away as well.
Important too, that we're not just looking at waking temps. We need to see how it trends through the day. Because waking temp, if we're just looking at waking temp, we could think everything's great. But what is it doing after those meals? It's the big question.
100%. And so now you see, okay, let's say you have a case where low temperatures first thing in the morning. Say you're low 96. After the first meal, you're high 97. First thing I'm going to go to every time is, how is your energy? How is your gut health? How is your sleep? Usually if you have poor sleep, poor energy, brain fog, then there's some gut health issues going on. And if you have any sort of gut health issues going on, you're going to have some thyroid issues, because 20% of T4 gets converted to T3 in the gut. 60% gets converted from T4 to T3 in the liver. So if you have gut health issues or your liver's backed up, you are going to have poor conversion.
Period. That's it. Like, there's no but this, but that. Like, if your liver is clogged, if your gut's not in a great place, thyroid's not going to be in a great place. It just won't.
100%.
So,
first
on
thing,
the contrary, since you asked me if client comes to you, thyroid issues, what's the first mover you would do if you have a client come to you that says, I have chronic gut issues, whether that's constipation, diarrhea, distension, acid reflux? What is the first mover that you put into place for that? Or questions you ask?
Almost every case, lifestyle factors. First thing's lifestyle factors. So how stressed are you? Are you eating on the go? Are you eating really fast? Are you eating really close to bed? Are you waiting till noon to eat? Do you have cases where you're fasting most of the day and then you hound your gut with whatever you can find at lunch whenever you are starving? And then at night, same thing, because you're not getting enough nutrients throughout the day. Are you hounding your gut with the quickest form of sugar possible, right? i.e. bad foods? That's the first thing I look to is how are you eating? How are you approaching your relationship with nutrition? And a lot of times you can uncover a lot of things, because snacking between meals, if you have folks who are, and this is really common, who are really stressed when you eat or eat really fast, you're going to have some gut motility issues. You're going to have some low stomach acid. You are going to have trouble digesting food, and that is going to back up your gut. And then that will lead to, towards the end of the night, if you're eating too close to bed, if you have poor sleep habits, i.e. everyone, if you are on your phone right before you go to bed, your gut recovers itself. It goes into recovery mode at night. So if you don't have a clear gut, if it's too busy trying to digest, or if you don't get good sleep, you're going to get gut permeability. And so these things always interact with each other. How are you approaching food? How your day is set up in your relationship with food, and then how that leads into the night, and how you're approaching your nightly routine, how well you're sleeping. If you address those things, 90% of the time, you can absolutely improve gut health. But the next step is really common as well, is low stomach acid issues. So if you're really stressed, you have acid reflux, 90% of the time, I'm going to, add things like bone broth, aloe vera juice, lemon juice, glutamine, maybe magnesium calm first thing in the morning to help heal the gut, give it what it needs to recover and heal itself and reduce inflammation. But then throughout the day, betaine HCl with meals. That's an increased stomach acid. That's going to increase digestibility. That's going to improve bowel motility. And man, 90% of cases, we'll see a ton of improvement just from that.
And two things I want to comment on there. Most people that think they have high stomach acid have low. I think that gets very confusing with people that are like, my doctor put me on a PPI, and I'm like, we probably do not have high stomach acid. We don't. The aloe vera, man, I love aloe vera. The way I like to explain it to clients is like, imagine putting aloe vera on like a sunburn. It's doing that internally to your gut lining. That soothing effect that it has on your skin, it does the same to your gut lining, basically.
Absolutely. And it has a slight laxative effect. It can help push food along first thing in the morning if you're having troubles get things moving. But what's the biggest thing you could do first thing in the morning to get your bowels moving? Go for a walk, get outside, get sun in your face, activate your circadian rhythm. Because when you activate your circadian rhythm, you go from that nighttime recovery gut mode to daytime gut motility mode. You only do that by getting sun in your eyes, sun in your face, and then go for a walk.
Yeah.
That is a great first mover. I mean, I test this out every morning. It's funny. What's that?
Go ahead.
No, what'd you say?
Well, I was just going to say, if you're struggling with constipation, we really got to look at your stress. Your body is not going to be, one, digesting optimally, or two, allowing you to actually have a bowel movement if you're constantly in a sympathetic state. You're not going to go. Hence the like, oh, my digestion's always off when I'm traveling. That would be why.
Mm-hmm. Stress. Every time, stress of travel. Bowel movements change.
Sucks.
Yeah. And going to bed, waking up at different times of the day. Because you'll see that too when you have travel, you have stress from travel, you'll get backed up from that. You have changing time zones. If you have jet lag, your digestion gets affected by that. Pay attention to that next time you travel, like you're changing time zones. But also pay attention to that if you're going to bed and waking up at different times, you're not going to have that first bowel movement as early in the day. So if I have, and this is something we talked about last time, we're so consistent as bodybuilders, it's really easy to draw cause and effect. So if I'm going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, and I poop immediately when I wake up,
it's
like I have a bad night and I sleep until 2 a.m. or I don't sleep till 2 a.m. Then the next day I don't go for a few more hours. It's kind of a struggle to get things moving again. And it's related to that circadian rhythm.
Yeah. It's so touchy. It's crazy because I always explain to people like my body is very touchy, which I'm sure anybody who has a lot of control over all variables, water, sleep, foods, fiber, sodium, just like everything is controlled. If one thing goes out the window, then the control is kind of like not there. And it's crazy to think the average person, not that this is bad, but they don't have nearly as much control over their internals. Like I can control, okay, I'm going to have a bowel movement in the morning. That's going to happen. So I just think it's really interesting to think about it that way. Like most people don't realize, oh, I can have control over to a capacity, like how my body functions on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. And even the way your gut and your brain are connected. Right? Your gut and your brain, the gut-brain axis is so tightly connected. You can think yourself into bad gut health sometimes, right? By one, just being so stressed, or two, if you're always telling yourself, I don't like this food, I have this, like you can create such a mental resistance with food that it will affect your digestion 100%. Yeah. There's a difference between a bodybuilder in an off season who's like, I'm sick of food, I don't want to eat food, and you're just behind on everything. It doesn't digest very well. I always see bowel movements becoming an issue. Diarrhea is more common versus if you've got someone that is very driven and they're like, I enjoy this food. I love this food. This is fueling me. My meal 1, I love it. My meal 2, it's after my workout. Banger. Meal 3, I love it every day. Your bowel movements are always way better because they're enjoying their food. They have gratitude for what they're doing. They're calmer.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, 100%.
Whenever I have, going back to the stress component, if you can see a trend here, that's for a good reason. Whenever I have a really busy day and I'm kind of having to be like, oh, I only have 10 minutes to eat. I need to get this together, get to the next thing. I have a call, I have whatever. I notice afterward, my stomach's a little crampy. It's like, okay, that didn't settle as well as it usually does. Like, I was probably in a sympathetic state when I was eating and my body's like, whoa. We are not in that rest and digest state. And it's giving me that cue of like, okay, you're going to have a little bit of cramps. You're going to have maybe a little bit of bloating, a little bit of distension. And I know why that is. It's not like, whoa, I don't respond well to beef and green beans anymore. It's like, okay, I ate in a rush. It all makes sense.
100%. And you can draw that conclusion because if we're eating 4 to 5 meals a day, we have 4 to 5 opportunities where we have a good experience with food. And then if you have one bad opportunity every 3 days, right? So let's say you have, 15 to 20 meals over the course of 3 to 4 days. And then in one of those instances, you're like, this isn't digesting well. What's going on? And you were stressed. It's like, that really was the case. If you were stressed this one meal and it's digesting funny, it's going to slow things down. And so you kind of put yourself in this position where you think, there's a lot of people who are eating that way every meal and they don't really know what it feels like to digest food well.
Right.
They're just always, it's just normal to have poor, slow bloated, backed up digestion, that, man, right out of the gate, if you just get someone that it's like, let's get lifestyle factors put together. Let me explain to you how important this is, and then let me show you the difference it's going to make. You start dialing in first thing, go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Go outside first thing in the morning, get sun on your face, go for a 10-minute walk, or have your gut health drink and then go for a 10-minute walk. Things are moving. Don't eat your food so fast. Slow down. Digestion improves every single time. I mean, I had a guy who he was just having diarrhea all the time, every time. And this guy, he was like, he kept having digestion. And I'm sitting here, I'm working through, I'm like, why could this, what's going on? It couldn't be fiber, couldn't be the foods. He had a dairy issue. We pulled dairy for a little bit. That improved things. And then we kind of just started BSing one day, and we're talking about work and, you know, getting meals in at work, just bro talk, right? And he had said something, I can't remember what it was. And I was like, dude, are you eating fast? And he's like, yeah, I eat really fast. In fact, most of the time my girlfriend tells me that I'm finishing my whole meal that's 3 times the size of hers before she finishes her small meal, and she can't believe it. And I was like, let's immediately have you take 10 breaths before your meal, chew each bite 20 times. Literally, you are going to have a fun time with this. Chew each bite 20 times. Take a big breath, calm down before your next bite, and do that for every meal. See what happens. Guess what happened? Didn't have diarrhea anymore.
Yep, I believe it. That's also so common with men, especially if they're like in like a blue collar job, military, first responders, etc. Because they have to, or if they come from that background, they are like, okay, I don't even have time to eat. Actually, I need to eat where I can. And they're used to like eating so quickly. And then you're not even chewing your food all the way. Digestion starts in the mouth. So your saliva, the enzymes are already trying to break down your food. But if you're swallowing chunks of food, then your whole entire digestive tract has to work basically double time to get that food down.
Yep. Every time. So what's the difference you see between men and women? What's something with women that you see is fairly common in relation to digestion and gut health like that maybe you don't see in men?
I see women also eating fast, but not as often. What I notice is women will just not eat instead, more so versus being like, oh, I really need to get this meal down. They'll be like, yeah, I'll just skip that meal. We could do a whole episode on this. I am really, for the most part, I'm like a broad spectrum, not a fan of fasting for women. Especially intermittent fasting from a sex hormone profile. We have that cortisol spike in the morning. If you're not eating in the morning, that nothing's going to dampen that cortisol spike. And you will be adrenal driven, period. In some instances where we're working on like blood glucose, stuff like that, maybe we'll have some fasting windows, but I wouldn't even do like a full fast. I would at least have like protein and fats, something, some calorie substance, period. What about you? What are your thoughts? This is going completely off track, but here we are. Let us hear. So what are your thoughts on fasting, men, women, anyone?
I'm not a fan of fasting. One, because of what you said. You're keeping cortisol high. Your body's really searching for nutrients, especially if you're active. I mean, you could argue that you dip into ketosis and things like that, but it's like nothing burns fat and gets you in a better metabolism like food. And we could go down that absolute rabbit hole because, well, it's not quite a rabbit hole. Every time you eat more food, you burn more fat and have more energy. There's not a single human who went from eating little food to eating as much as their body needed and not have good things from that. But also the carb content, getting carbs that you need for thyroid function, relation between cortisol and thyroid function, right? You're going to have low thyroid. If you're fasting a lot, you are going to have low thyroid. You're going to decrease your metabolism. And a lot of times, that's the argument is like, well, let's not do let's fast so that we can slow our metabolism down so that we don't have to eat as much food. But the problem is when you suppress your thyroid, your chain of communication in your thyroid. So we can talk about that. Like when you suppress your thyroid, T3 is used in everything.
Everything.
T3. So down the long chain of how thyroid works, right? Your hypothalamus signals TRH to the pituitary, which signals TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, to the pituitary, which releases mostly T4 and T3, a little bit of T3. Thyroid binding globulin takes that into your body. Where does it take it? Well, 60% of it to your liver, 20% of it to your gut, and it gets converted there. And so anything in that process that's messing it up, you're not going to have good T3. If you're not getting good, if you're highly inflamed, you have high cortisol, you're not getting nutrients, you're going to mess with there's so many steps in there, you're going to mess with that process. You're not going to get good T3. And then what happens is if you don't have good T3, it lowers your stomach acid, it slows gut motility. Your mitochondria needs T3 to produce ATP. ATP is what literally gives you energy for every cell in your body for everything, for digestion, for muscle contractions. Yes, to think better, to have better memory. So if you don't have good T3 in your body, to convert cholesterol to hormones, if you mess with that, you mess with every function in your body. And I think fasting, while it has good applications, yes, it has good applications, but not if you're doing it every day. Like bodybuilders in an off season, I will do, if we're doing high food, I'll take a day and fast. Be like, you're not going to eat food today. Let's let the migrating motor complex clear out your gut. And then let's get started back tomorrow. That's the only time I'll do fasting, because if you fast for one day, you're not going to have an effect on those systems like that. But if you're doing it every day, it's a no-go for me. I don't see a lot of application.
Yeah. Love that answer. I'm going to say something that might shake some boots up, but that's kind of what we're here for. A lot of women come to me and say, I have a slow metabolism. I can't lose body fat. I've been this way my whole life. Whatever that rendition is. And I understand that from an emotional component. 100%. I understand how frustrating that is. Most women don't have a slow metabolism. They have a pissed off thyroid and a pissed off gut. That's what's going on. And good thing is, me and Riley can fix both of those things. So you're not broken. All that to say, I understand. I understand the mental component, but you're not broken. It's all fixable. And to be honest, it's usually a very easy fix.
90% of the cases, it's a very easy fix. Within a week or two. I mean, I had a lady that came to me, her thyroid's nuked. She doesn't have a thyroid.
Yep, it's gone.
And she's been struggling with blood work thyroid numbers forever. Doctors have been giving her more and more T4, more concentrated forms of the T4, and it's still not moving. Well, what did we do? We fed her food, increased her stomach acid, improved gut health, cleared out the liver. And then she had temperatures up into the 98s, like waking very close to 98. And then she was mid 98, almost 99 during the day. She's like, I'm sweating all the time. It's like, welcome to a good metabolism. That's what it takes. So you're telling me you spent 7 to 10 years. Yeah, 7. You've been exactly like how excited. It took us 1 to 2 weeks in what 7 to 10 years couldn't be done with thyroid medication. So there's pretty clear indication of what's driving that. Because they will. Yeah, they'll look at TSH and prescribe you T4. But if you're not converting T4 to T3 in your body, T4 is not going to do a whole lot. It's not going to do anything. It's going to be more dormant. All you're going to do is drive up reverse T3. Let's do that right off the bat. Let's drop our morning digestive gut health drink. And that's one of the most effective things you can do first thing in the morning. Give your gut what it needs first thing in the morning. Do that instead of coffee. And I've been on this for a little bit. It is so common to have, yes, 100%. If you're relying on coffee to go to the bathroom, I mean, there's just if you need coffee, I mean, I get it. Coffee's fun. It's fun. It's a great time. I enjoy a good coffee. But if you are in such a state, you have so low T3 in your body that your mitochondria doesn't have what it needs to give you energy, and then you rely on coffee to make up for that, you're going to mask symptoms for an hour every day to get you past that first hour. So here's what you're going to do instead. Yeah, and then the rest of the day you're drinking coffee, because on an empty stomach, coffee, it causes inflammation, it causes gut permeability, it's highly acidic. It is not good on an empty stomach. We should not be doing it. Just have it with food. Yeah, just have it with food. Wait till your first meal. So here's my key. Here's what you're going to do. If you are somebody who is on the fast until noon, drink coffee on an empty stomach, and probably have low thyroid kick, here's what you're going to do. First thing in the morning, you're going to drink 12 to 18 ounces of water with electrolytes. Preferably Prime Potion because it has EAAs, it has taurine, it has coconut water powder, and it will hydrate you and give you more energy than just
Let's not beat
electrolytes
around the
will,
bush.
as it is.
tastes-
Plus, by the time you drink your coffee, it is going to work better, and it tastes amazing. It tastes way
so
better
good.
than coffee. And
tastes
so
so
have 12 ounces of water with electrolytes. Go outside, get sun in your face, go for a 10-minute walk. Tell me what happens with your bowel movements first. Then come back, have this gut health drink, have your first meal, and then have your coffee with it. You will have more energy throughout the whole day. If you just do that, then you probably have had in years. Because every time I have someone do this, they tell me exactly that.
I kind of want to go into,
just try it.
Yeah,
Like
just try it. Just try it. I think we're having a
What's
little
that?
bit. Okay.
I apologize. If you have, so I think you're right. There might be some connectivity. Say that one more time. If you have somebody who has low thyroid and they're trying to get in the best shape of their life, yeah, that's an easy conversation. Is like, do you want to fight yourself and get bad progress and have a bad experience? Or do you want to address what's going on right up front and then get great results? Because if you look at bodybuilders, and I've experienced both. I've experienced poor gut health, poor sleep, high stress, try to make progress. It doesn't work. And after however many years that took to realize that maybe I don't have what it takes in this sport. Maybe my body just doesn't respond. Until I did it the right way. I focused on priorities, like doing what it takes to get your body to respond. And then guess what it did? It responded. Now I didn't feel like I didn't have the genetics. Now I didn't feel like I didn't have a place in bodybuilding anymore. If you want to carve yourself into the sport of bodybuilding and have a great physique, then if something comes up that is preventing your body from responding, prioritize that and that only until it's fixed and then move on. I don't care when your show is. I don't care when you thought you were going to start prep. There's shows every month. We're going to fix that till it's done. Then when your body responds, you're going to have a way better time because guess what? You make progress and you look better than you ever have. So if it's SIBO, we're clearing it immediately. It's not fun, but that's the first thing we're doing. Always going to be there. You're eating more than you can handle.
Yeah.
Yep. So what would you explain the relationship between hormonal birth control and thyroid health? Let's go.
Into your body.
How does estrogen dominance affect thyroid? Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. If you're estrogen dominant, if you have recycling excess estrogen is antithyroid.
And
Excess estrogen is antithyroid. It binds to thyroid receptors. It cranks up thyroid binding globulin, and it will reduce thyroid's ability to convert and be utilized in the body just because it's backed up at the liver, just because you have high estrogen at the liver. 100%. Yep. Men and women, estrogen it's one of the most important hormones in the body, but too high or too low in anyone can cause problems.
Yep.
Too high compared to too low progesterone definitely will cause problems with thyroid for that reason. So what else? So birth control, you're putting synthetic hormones in the body. We're asking too much of the liver. That's backing up. What else is going on? Yeah, because some of them, like, what is Mirena?
Yeah, that
Doesn't Mirena? Yeah, it provides progestins,
which
right?
is
A synthetic
not
form of
progesterone.
progesterone. So it tanks progesterone, right? So if you're not monitoring estrogen to progesterone, and you have too high of estrogen, especially related to progesterone, then you could run into thyroid issues. You could run into too high of estrogen. Could affect libido. Will affect energy. Could affect blood pressure. Wow. Was she really stressed? What was she eating? What was her lifestyle like? Yeah, I bet she is. I bet she's not eating a lot. I bet she's super stressed.
Yep.
I bet she's in one of those scenarios where she'll fast until noon, eat whatever she can, and then kind of binge at night. Sleep. I'll bet she might be one of those that stays up way too late at night, kind of goes to bed on time before work, but then stays up way too late at night when she doesn't have work the next day, so circadian rhythm is totally off. That's something, anytime I see estrogen to progesterone ratio like that, that seems to be really common. But I mean, that's like a really common American thing to do, right? It's just like fast and drink coffee in the morning.
It's what people do.
Yeah, and it takes more energy to wake up, go out, drink your water and electrolytes, go outside, get some sun on your face, go for a walk, have your gut health drink, have your first meal, drink coffee with that, bring a meal to lunch at work, go home, have a good meal at night. Now you're feeding yourself enough throughout the day that at night you're not binging, you're not starving, you have a nice meal, you eat that outside of 2 hours before bed, have a good night of sleep. Tell me how much more energy you have at that point. It's kind of like investing in something. I always think about it like in a business perspective in this sort of way. You're like, you need to invest money to make money. You need to spend money to build your business before you make money. Like you're going to be expense heavy. You're going to be spending way more money than you make for the first, I think most tax consultants tell you the first 3 years or something like that.
Right. But the ROI
At
is
some
going to
point,
be
yes, you have more energy, 100%. Because what happens every time is, and then when you do that, then you got to hold clients back. I mean, a lot of times with clients like that, they're like, I don't really want, I know I should go to the gym, but I don't want to go to the gym. I know I need to do cardio. I just don't want to do cardio. Like, honestly, I just kind of want to take naps. Well, you get them through what we just said. Go for about 2 weeks. You see body temps and pulse rates rise in the right spot. You see that thyroid improve. He gets some good nutrients in. And then all of a sudden you get into the gym. They're having a good time in the gym. And then they're off doing an hour of cardio without you knowing about it. It was like, I felt so good today. I just did an hour of cardio. And you're like, whoa. Hold on. Let's back up. Let's not do so much cardio. But I get it. Because guess what? You have so much energy now. And a lot of times they'll tell you, I don't even drink coffee anymore. So ROA is 20.
You want to fidget, you want to move.
You have more energy to cover all that. Yes, but it also gives like it gives you that window into what folks commonly feel like.
Yeah, as much as that time.
And then when you get back out of it, you're like, wow, for sure. Yeah, there was going through dysbiosis, going through stressful times. I mean, there's times you fall off, you don't eat as much, you have bad sleep, different sleep and wake times. I mean, there's times when you just got to do what you got to do, and bodybuilding falls by the wayside. But there's a cost to that, because then you start realizing, well, that's what it feels like when you neglect your sleep, you neglect your nutrition, you don't give your body what it needs, you stress yourself out, the whole chain of command from hypothalamus to T3. Then you don't have the mitochondria doesn't have what it needs. You just don't have good energy. You don't think as well. I mean, there were times, shoot, where, like you said, just being so social, you just wanted to avoid it. You're like, I don't have the brain energy for this.
Dude,
but then as soon as you get digging back into it, you're like, back on sleep, you get good sleep. I mean, it went from just dreading every next moment of the day, dreading waking up the next day, to I have so many ideas, content ideas. Mac, what about this? Mac, let's start a podcast. Mac, what are you doing? How's it going on? Like, and it showed up with your clients. Your clients can see it.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it's like it goes both ways. You're like, if you're dragging ass and you're just kind of low energy, then you get low energy interactions. So let's talk about ROI. Let's talk about opportunity. Let's talk about, if you do the work, lifestyle factors to improve your digestion, which I don't know anybody who got better digestion and didn't have a better mood from that. So why wouldn't you not do that?
Me neither.
So put in whatever it takes to improve your digestion, clear out your liver so that you have good hormones. Nobody ever felt bad optimizing their hormones. Everybody talks about optimizing hormones. Well, it starts at the liver. If your liver can detox things, you don't have things recirculating that don't need to be in there. You have hormone optimization. Okay, let's sell gut health and liver health. And then let's hone in on body temps, pulse rates, and thyroid and the energy you get from all that. I mean, let's talk ROI. If you are in a stress state, you have poor gut health, you have poor liver health, your hormones are not optimized, you have low T3, you have low energy, all of your interactions are going to be low quality, low energy. You're going to attract that type of interaction. You're all going to make excuses together because, I've been there. I know what that feels like. But I also know what it feels like to do the opposite, like go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, have good gut health, clear out the liver, do what you need to do to make sure your liver stays healthy, track your body temps and pulse rates, do what you do to make sure that the whole chain of command of thyroid is healthy. Now you feel good. Now you have ideas. Now you interact with people like you and I, anybody in ECA with us under Justin Mahaley, anybody that we've been interacting with, you have high energy conversations. We all feel the same. We are all doing the same thing. We're doing voice memos back and forth that are 6 minutes apiece talking about X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G at a time. And we're just going about our day like it's normal because we have that much energy. But if you have one day off, you're like, man, I dread all of this. So it's absolutely worth that ROI, because not only do you have the energy to keep up with that type of schedule, but then it all snowballs from that. Nobody's ever had a worse life from feeling better, looking better, and being a motivational, high energy person. In fact, I would argue that's the most impactful thing you can do if you want to make more money in this life, if you want to have better relationships in this life, if you want to have better friends, if you want to have better opportunity, like working, do what you want to do. If you're like, I don't think I have the energy to start the business that I think I want to do. Well, start with what you said first. You don't think you have the energy. If you have the energy to do all that, it absolutely
you might not know.
possible.
It's
the last
already
yeah.
You're going to be
100%.
dehydrated.
And your sleep's messed up. And then your gut health's messed up. Like your gut's already messed up if your sleep's messed up. And then you throw alcohol in it, it's damaging. I mean, I'd like to see alcohol become less and less of a thing. Like,
Me too.
I'll have a good tasting whiskey every once in a while. At like once every, at this point, 3 months or something.
Yeah, I'm a girl.
Like enjoy it when it's time to enjoy
I love
it.
it.
Yeah, earn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, earn it.
Exactly.
Earn it. It's like going to a party. Like, what are you partying for? What did you accomplish? Why did you have a drink? Why are you having a drink? What are you doing?
You completed the work week.
Yeah, you complete the work week by having so much energy that you go into the weekend building your business, hanging out with people who add to your life. I mean, I don't mind a drink at the end of the week. Like if you have one drink at the end of the week or something that's like, but if you're doing it all the time, every weekend, it's something that's very common. I mean, I see people, right? They always have a drink in their hand. Every time you go to their house, they always have a drink in their hand. Yeah, and be willing to, and it all relates, man. It all relates. And like, be willing to make that hard decision. Like if you know you're in a spot where, like if a client comes to you, or if you're listening right now and you're one of those people, like sleep is crazy, food is not that good, coffee first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, fasting till noon, eat what you can, binge at night. Look at why that is the case. Like, do you have influences in your life that is making you do that? Like, do you have people on the weekend that make you stay out too late? Do you have excuses that you tell yourself, like not just relationships with other people, relationships with yourself, that prevent you from doing those things? Like now we're in the psychology side of improving gut health, liver health, and thyroid, and getting you the energy and the raw materials your body needs to actually heal. As it starts in your psychology, it starts with the interactions that you're having. Go ahead. Yeah, that's a good point. Mm-hmm. Low sleep, low energy, for sure. Start with the gut, start with the liver. Never the case.
There is a fix.
Yeah. Most of the time it's simple. Sometimes it takes a little bit more. I mean, there's some cases, because again, your T3, it will lower if you have low T3, it will lower stomach acid. It will slow gut motility. It will not allow the mitochondria to produce ATP for every process in your body. So in cases like that, sometimes you got to get more complex. Add T3, give your body what it needs to help increase stomach acid directly, improve digestive bowel motility, give your body energy through the mitochondria, then fix gut and liver, then come off T3 and get your body to produce T3 again.
Step by step.
That's in the 5 to 10% of the cases where things are a little more complex. That's might be what you do, but most of the time it is lifestyle factors, it's influences, it's how you're treating your gut, it's how you're treating your day, what you're doing with your liver. Improve those things and thyroid will improve, energy will improve, digestion, sleep will improve, and all the above. This is great. Yes, we are going to do a Q&A before the next podcast, and then the last 10 minutes we'll answer questions. I think that would be awesome. Wherever you're at, it can be improved. That's it. Thyroid, gut, liver, lifestyle, energy, sleep, it can all be improved. Absolutely. All right, Mac, we'll see you next time.